Welcome in, everyone, to a deep dive into one of the most legendary figures in sports history, Diego Maradona. But today, we're not just talking about his goals or his skills on the pitch. No, we're going deeper. We're going to rewind the clock and explore the incredible story of how a kid from the slums of Buenos Aires became a global icon.
Yeah, talk about a fascinating journey. It's almost like we're going to be archaeologists unearthing a lost civilization, but instead of digging up artifacts, we're digging through these incredible stories and anecdotes.
Right. You guys sent in so much awesome material, a biography that focuses specifically on his life in Fiorito, firsthand accounts from people who actually knew him back then. We've even got an article that breaks down his earliest days playing football.
It's like having these separate pieces of a puzzle, right? Each one offers a unique perspective. We've got personal stories, glimpses into that raw talent, and the rise of a local legend. And all of it takes place against this backdrop of Fiorito, the impoverished Buenos Aires suburb where it all began.
So let's talk about Fiorito. We're talking dirt floors, cramped homes, a constant struggle just to get basic necessities. It's a world away from the glitz and glamour we usually associate with Maradona later on in his life.
Yeah, understanding this context is really crucial, I think. The source material paints a very vivid picture. Families using cooking oil cans to fetch water because they didn't even have running water. Maradona's mother, Doña Tota, pretending to be ill so her children would have more food to eat. Really powerful stuff.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to imagine. But even amidst all this hardship, a vibrant sense of community really thrived. Doña Tota, she emerges as this incredibly strong figure, fiercely protective, deeply loving. Talk about a powerful force in young Diego's life.
She certainly was, but it wasn't just her, right? This community, they were woven together by these shared experiences, by resilience and almost defiant joy that, it permeated even the toughest times. And I think these are the threads that help shape Maradona's character.
Okay, so let's talk about the football prodigy himself. Some of the stories about his early talent are almost mythical. Imagine a 3-year-old getting his first football and refusing to sleep without it.
It speaks to, I think, an almost instinctive connection to the game, wouldn't you say? But it goes beyond just sentiment. The accounts from his childhood friends and neighbors, they describe this exceptional ball control, this natural flair that almost seemed to defy logic for someone so young.
Like he was born with the ball glued to his feet, right?
Right.
They even describe him making an orange dance in the air, juggling it with his feet, his head, and his neck.
It's fascinating because even then, he wasn't just showing off, right? Witnesses noted his remarkable vision and passing ability, a willingness to set others up for success. Even as a child, it's crazy. This wasn't just talent, it was a deep understanding of the game.
He was already thinking like a playmaker, orchestrating the game instead of just, trying to score himself. Like he was born with a coach's mind in a child's body.
That's a great way to put it. I like that. And this kind of brings us to a really pivotal moment, Maradona joining Los Abuelitas, the youth team of Argentinos juniors, at the age of 8, which is just mind-blowing. And it's a story that perfectly captures his talent and the dynamics of his childhood friendships.
Think about it. His friend, Goyo Carrizo, was the star player for Los Abuelitas.
Yeah.
Imagine having the guts to recommend a kid who could potentially, steal your spotlight.
It really speaks volumes about Goyo's character, and his early recognition of Maradona's exceptional abilities. He was willing to share the stage knowing that this new kid had something special.
And boy, did he ever. The coach, Francis Cornejo, was absolutely blown away during the tryout.
Yeah.
He couldn't believe Maradona was only 8. He kept demanding proof because his skills were just so advanced.
The sources describe him, weaving through these older boys like water flowing downhill, effortlessly and gracefully, just amazing. Cornejo was witnessing something truly extraordinary, a level of talent that he'd never seen before in someone so young.
Accounts describe this hushed awe falling over the spectators. It wasn't just football, it was like an artistic performance. And this is where we encounter our first real mystery, Estrella Rocha. So you have some information about Maradona's childhood team, also called Estrella Rocha, which is interesting because that's the same name as a famous Yugoslavian club. Let's explore that connection.
Oh, it's a fascinating puzzle, man. The sources, they offer a few possibilities, right? Was it inspired by Racing Club de Avellaneda, an Argentinian team with a red star on their jersey? Did the Yugoslavian team directly influence the name, or was it something else entirely? We just don't know.
It's like we're trying to unravel a secret code or something. But whatever the truth is, Estrella Rocha, it becomes so much more than just a name.
Absolutely. It evolved into this powerful symbol, of shared dreams, community pride, this defiant hope that thrived even in the face of poverty. It becomes a banner for Maradona and his friends, representing their aspirations and the spirit of Fiorito itself.
And to really capture this essence, one of the sources introduces this larger-than-life character named Tio Aquilino, this fictionalized superfan who embodies that unwavering devotion that Maradona inspired.
He becomes this almost mythical figure, right? Representing the hopes and dreams of an entire community projected onto this young football prodigy and his local team. It's a beautiful illustration of how sport can transcend, the game itself and become something much, much greater.
So we've set the stage, right? Fiorito's hardships, its vibrant spirit, a glimpse into Maradona's just raw talent, and the emergence of Estrella Roja as this symbol of hope. But we've only scratched the surface.
That's right. Now we're going to delve deeper into Maradona's journey, exploring the people and experiences that shaped him into the legend we know today. Welcome back. We left off talking about young Diego just captivating everybody with his talent. And now let's sort of explore how he navigated that path from, local prodigy to this rising star. And it wasn't always a smooth journey, especially given, the stark realities of his environment.
Yeah, the sources kind of hint at these subtle tensions that arise when talent intersects with poverty.
Yeah.
And one account, narrated from the perspective of his close friend, Goyo, offers a really unique window into this dynamic.
Yeah, Goya's perspective is particularly insightful. He recounts these small but telling details, like how he had, multiple pairs of shoes, while Maradona only had one for everything, right? School, play, even football, which is kind of crazy. It's a subtle reminder of the economic disparity that existed between them, even within, this close friendship.
Yeah. And as Maradona's star ascends, these differences become even more pronounced. He starts receiving gifts, recognition, while Goyo's reality remains largely unchanged.
There's a fascinating anecdote where Goyo, and he can't even fully explain why he does this, takes one of Maradona's socks after practice and hides it. It's a curious detail that reveals these complex emotions that are simmering beneath the surface.
What do you make of that? It seems like such an odd thing to do, especially for a close friend.
Well, it could be interpreted as a subconscious attempt to hold on to a piece of his friend, right? Like a tangible reminder of their shared past as Maradona's life begins to, transform.
Like a talisman almost against change, a way to kind of preserve their connection as their paths diverge. Goyo even admits to feeling a tinge of jealousy as he witnesses Maradona's just meteoric rise, which is a very human response, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the complexity of human nature, right? To feel both pride and envy for someone you're close to, especially when their achievements inadvertently highlight your own perceived shortcomings. It's a testament to the strength of their bond, though, that their friendship endures, despite these underlying tensions.
Another really powerful element in Maradona's life was the unwavering support of his mother, Doña Tota. And we talked about her pretending to have a stomach ache so her children would eat more, but the source material reveals that Maradona only learned the truth about this sacrifice much later in life.
Yeah, imagine the weight of that realization. The guilt and gratitude intertwined. It's powerful. It speaks to the depth of Doña Tota's love and the sacrifices that she made to shield her children from the harsh realities of their poverty.
And then there's this incredible anecdote about a television crew arriving at their home to film a segment about the young football prodigy. And it's a small moment, but it marks a turning point. It's the moment where Maradona's talent starts to attract attention from the outside world.
Yeah, it's like stepping onto a larger stage, right? The spotlight is widening to encompass a larger audience. And it's in this moment that Doña Tota, she shares this story about finding a star-shaped brooch on her way to the hospital to give birth to Diego.
A premonition, she believed, a sign of her son's extraordinary destiny.
Whether we interpret it as fate, coincidence, or simply a mother's unwavering belief in her child, it adds another layer to the Maradona mythos. You know what I mean? It speaks to the power of stories, the narratives we construct around exceptional individuals.
And speaking of stories, let's revisit the mystery surrounding Estrella Roja for a second. We have this wonderful account narrated by Tio Aquilino, the fictionalized superfan who really represents the heart and soul of Fiorito. And he kind of delves into those various theories surrounding the origin of the team's name, which honestly leaves us with more questions than answers.
It is intriguing, isn't it? I mean, we're left to ponder the possibilities. Was it racing club, the Yugoslavian team, or perhaps something completely different? But the source, wisely refrains from providing a definitive answer.
Why do you think that is?
Because, sometimes the mystery itself is more powerful than any concrete explanation. It allows for individual interpretation, for the myth to kind of grow organically within the community.
So it's not just about the name itself, but the stories we weave around it, the meaning we imbue it with.
Precisely. And in the case of Estrella Roja, it becomes this powerful symbol of community, resilience and those shared dreams that unite a group of people facing challenging circumstances.
Tio Aquilino, with larger-than-life personality, really embodies this collective spirit. He's not just a fan, he's a walking, talking representation of Fiorito's hopes and dreams, all projected onto Maradona and his team. And it's just a beautiful illustration of how sports can become a focal point for an entire community, a source of pride and inspiration.
Yeah, it's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful stories are those that we create ourselves, the myths we build around individuals and institutions that embody our shared aspirations. And in the case of Maradona and Estrella Roja, these stories, they continue to resonate, transcending time and place to capture the imagination of fans worldwide.
So we've explored the complexities of his friendships, the unwavering support of his family, the emergence of his talent on a wider stage, and the enduring power of stories and symbols. But the journey isn't over yet, right? I mean, what other formative experiences kind of shaped young Diego's path?
Yeah, let's continue our exploration in part 3, where we delve into Maradona's transition from local hero to the national sensation. We're going to be uncovering the challenges and the triumphs that marked his rise to stardom, so stay tuned.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Maradona's childhood. We've seen his talent blossom, witnessed his strong family bonds, explored that symbolic power of Estrella Roja. Now let's see how those early years in Fiorito really shaped him as he takes those first steps towards becoming, well, a legend.
This is where I think we see those formative experiences really solidifying, right? Remember, he's not just a talented kid anymore. He's gaining recognition. He's facing new challenges. And he's starting to understand what it means to carry the weight of expectation, which can be huge.
Yeah. One of the sources captures this transition so well. They describe this pivotal moment, a match where Los Cebolitas are facing their toughest rivals. The stakes were high, and the pressure was really on for young Diego to deliver.
It was a classic underdog story, right? Los Cebolitas, they're facing this team known for their aggressive play and this win-at-all-costs mentality. I mean, the tension was palpable, even for the spectators.
And Maradona was their secret weapon, the ace up their sleeve. The source describes him as a quiet force before the match, almost introspective.
Yeah, like he was internalizing the pressure, channeling it into focus and determination. And what's striking is that even at that young age, he understood the importance of mental fortitude, of rising to the occasion.
And rise he did. The match itself was a display of pure brilliance. I mean, Maradona orchestrated the game with his almost uncanny vision. His passes dissecting the opposing defense, his dribbling skills leaving opponents just bewildered.
It's interesting because the source highlights not just his individual skills, but also his leadership qualities. He wasn't just playing, he was inspiring his teammates, urging them forward, pushing them to exceed their limits.
Like he was embodying the spirit of Fiorito, right? That resilience and determination forged in the face of adversity, showing his team that even against the odds, they could triumph.
And triumph they did. Los Cebolitas secured a resounding victory, which was a real testament to Maradona's talent and his ability to elevate those around him. I think it was a defining moment. It was a glimpse into the leader he would become.
This leads us to another fascinating aspect that's revealed in the source material, the role of luck, or maybe destiny, in Maradona's journey. Remember Doña Toda's star-shaped brooch?
Yes, the one she found on the way to the hospital when Diego was born, right?
Yeah.
Powerful symbol, definitely imbued with meaning and premonition.
Well, there's another story about a lucky charm that kind of emerges during this period, a small medal of the Virgin Mary that Maradona wore around his neck. It became a source of comfort and strength for him, like a tangible connection to his faith and his family.
It's interesting, isn't it, how these seemingly insignificant objects become infused with meaning, almost like talismans against, the uncertainties of life. It speaks to our human need for belief, for something, greater than ourselves to hold on to, especially in times of pressure and uncertainty.
And for Maradona, that belief, that faith in something beyond himself, it really seemed to fuel his determination, his unwavering drive to succeed.
It's a reminder that even the most extraordinary individuals, they draw strength from sources beyond just their talent. For Maradona, it was his family, his community, his faith that provided that foundation for his greatness.
So as we conclude our deep dive, what picture emerges of young Diego? What key insights can we glean from his childhood in Fiorito?
Well, for me, it's a story about the interplay of talent, environment, and the power of belief. It shows us that greatness can emerge from the most unexpected places, that hardship can forge resilience, and that community support can nurture extraordinary potential.
It also reminds us that even legends have humble beginnings, right? It's about
Yeah.
those formative experiences that shape us, the people who believe in us, and the dreams that drive us forward.
Yeah, and perhaps most importantly, it highlights the enduring power of stories, right? The myths we create, the symbols we embrace, and the narratives that we weave around those who inspire us. And Maradona's childhood is a real testament to the human spirit's ability to find hope and triumph even in the face of adversity.
It's been an absolutely fascinating journey, exploring the making of a legend,
Yeah.
and we hope you've all enjoyed this deep dive into the childhood of Diego Maradona.
And remember, dear listener, what shaped him continues to shape us all. The power of community, the unwavering support of loved ones, and the belief that greatness can blossom anywhere. So thanks for joining us.